Welcome to part 2. So this is meant to be a complement to Ashtanga Express part 1. If you are moving directly from one video to the next, you have the option to skip that back bend and twist that comes at the end of the first sequence and then stay with the standing postures as they start here, or keep them in at your discretion. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and cue the traditional entries and exits into Prasarita Padottanasana D. Obviously, if you're following the visual components, I'm doing variations which you're welcome to do along with me, or just follow the oral cues to go through the traditional postures. Starting in Tadasana, traditionally you would step right, but so that my butt is facing away from the camera, I'm stepping left, hands to the hips, inhale, chest up. Exhale, take the hands and place them in line with the feet. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, forward fold. So here, we want to think about keeping that 90-degree angle with the elbows. Widen the shoulders off of the neck. And as always, we want to think about reducing the amount of pressure on the knees and rather taking the work into the hips. So think about inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, ground down to the hands, the feet. 2 more breaths. Inhale, extend the spine forward. Exhale, forward fold. Okay. So as you can see here, I'm doing kind of a straddle handstand prep work. If you're going with Prasarita Padottanasana B, allow the hands to remain on the waist. Keep the forward fold. So you're trying to make the neck as long as possible. The head wants to extend down while the shoulders want to extend towards the hips. 3, 2, one more breath here. Okay. And again, I'm not being very strict about following the traditional sequence. I'm playing around with the accessibility I'm gaining through these postures to work on other parts of an inversion here. Again, stay in the forward fold or try to lift up and extend. Preparing for Prasarita Padottanasana C. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Now watch, I'm pulling my shoulder blades down my back, but I'm trying to keep space so that the shoulder blades aren't pinching in against the spine. So think shoulder blades wide and then away from the neck. Knees are soft here. Notice if there's work happening on the arch side of the foot or towards the ankle bone. You want to make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on the outside of the foot. Okay. I'm skipping Prasarita Padottanasana D here. We're going into Parsvottanasana. So take a step with the right and turn towards the back of your mat. 2 hand variations here. I take elbow to elbow because it feels better for my wrists. Alternate hand variation is reverse namaskar. Exhale. From that back heel, lunge the belly button towards the thigh. Inhale, drag both hips away from the head. Okay, and notice I maintain a little bit of slack through that front knee to your capacity. Belly button towards the thigh. Release the neck. 3, 2, one more breath here. Inhale will bring you up. Exhale, pivot towards the front of your mat. Okay, reestablishing the footwork. Exhale, lunge off of that back heel, belly button towards the thigh. Inhale. Drag that hip back. Okay. So again, you have that push through the back foot, you have that pull through the front leg. Release the neck. 4, 3, 2 more breaths. Inhale brings you upright. Release the arms. Exhale, home base. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Set the left foot up to take weight. So we want to think about pushing the foot into the floor, pushing that hip bone forward. Now we're starting with the bent knee. From here, the first priority is always the standing leg. Find the extension there, and then once that's set, then start to push that toe into the finger. 4, 3. Notice if the shoulders are starting to scrunch up around the neck. Okay. I like to bend my knee here, rotate, and then extend. And again, feel free to just hold on to the front of the knee. You have the option to turn the chin towards the opposite shoulder or keep it looking forward. Ooh. Getting a little wacky there. Inhale, bring it back to the front. Bring the forehead towards the shin. Inhale, unsupported. Push through the floor. 4. Keep the chest lifted. 3, 2, release. Set the opposite foot up to take weight. Spread the toes out to create as much surface area as possible. Push the floor away, push the hip forward. Okay, so I've got my first 2 fingers hooking the big toe. And again, we focus on building from the standing leg. Once the standing leg is set, actively pushing the floor away. Starting with the bent knee, I'm going to push my toe into my finger. Again, see if you can give yourself a little bit more space around the neck. One more breath. Okay, and again, I'm bending my knees because I think that it puts the rotation in a better position. Then I start to extend. Okay, so that right hip bone, I really want you to send it forward, and then inhale, lift the chest. 3, 2, inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, working the forehead towards the shin. Inhale, push the floor away, lift the chest. 4, 3, stand a little bit taller. Exhale, release the foot. Shake it out. Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. Okay, and again, initiating the action from the right side. So I'm going to hook onto my calf and pull all that flesh out of the way and try to clamp my kneecap as tightly closed as possible. From here, again, variations. My hips are pretty malleable, so I'm able to come into this forward fold. The alternates would be tree pose, taking the foot inside the calf or inside the thigh, just never against the knee. Okay, so again, notice that I maintain that bend through the standing leg. I'm really trying to extend through the floor and lift the hip. Hand is hooked on the big toe. 2 more breaths. Okay, I'm going to unhook the hand first, push my foot into my thigh, inhale, lift my chest. Good, just working on that balance. So I straighten out the knee first before I release it. Opposite side. I hook the calf, place the foot in my hip crease. Make sure that the foot is active and that it's not sickling. Okay. From here. Now again, traditionally you would hook the big toe first, but I feel more stable when I come to the forward fold and then go for the bind. Again, it's all a progression. Bind is not necessary. What is necessary is making sure that you're not hyperextending through that standing leg. Inhale, think about lifting the hips. Exhale, push the foot into the thigh, push the foot into the floor. 3, 2, last breath. Release the hand, push the foot into the thigh to help stabilize you. Inhale, lift the chest. And notice I straighten my knee out first and then I release the leg. Okay. Virabhadrasana sequence. Feet together. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, soft knees, neutral pelvis, extend the spine. Okay, so again, it's not a traditional transition to go through the handstands, but because we practice it on one side, I'm integrating it here so I'm practicing evenly with both legs. So if you're going for it, maybe give it 5 tries, initiating with the right leg. 3, 2, slowly bring it down, plank, vinyasa, either chaturanga or reverse chaturanga. Inhale, strike through the toenails, lift the sternum. Exhale. So you're going to hop directly into chair pose. Here, I give myself a couple tries with the pike. Extend through the floor, extend through the heels. Come into the squat. Inhale, Utkatasana. 5 breaths here. Okay, so as always, make sure that you can see your toes, that your knees are staying behind the line of the toes. You want to think about tailbone facing down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Okay, I'm practicing my jump tucks here. Extend through the hands. So for me, it almost feels like my chest is trying to push towards the back wall. If I visualize that, that's usually how I'm able to find more extension and a better line with the spine. Some days it's there, some days it's not. Just keep at it. Transition through. Inhale. Your up position, either Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, step with the right, coming into Virabhadrasana 1. So 5 breaths here. I take a lot of time to set up my pelvis. For me personally, I have a lot of issues with my SI joints. So it's important that I keep the 2 hip bones aligned rather than letting one jet forward and one jet back. So I'm pushing through my heel to get that left hip bone forward. I'm sucking my right thigh bone in. Inhale, extend. Second side. And notice I spend a lot of time with the pelvis, and then usually if they're where I want them, then the ribs will naturally follow that line. Shoulder blades are wide. So if you don't know if they're wide or not, scrunch your shoulders up around your neck really, really tight. Exhale, let it go. Virabhadrasana 2, open up the arms. Keep the left knee bent. So here I'm going to roll everything open, extend through my fingertips. This helps me find that level line with the arms. And then all I'm going to do is flip the palms. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, drop the shoulders. 3, 2, second side. Pivot in. Exhale, find the lunge. And again, I'm rotating through the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, extend to the fingertips. Flip the palms. Okay. Knee is aligned with the middle toe. Tailbone is facing down. Exhale, fan the hands down. Lift the left leg. You can hold it here. Come up on the tiptoes or go for the hops. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I skipped the sequence a little bit, but come through plank, either chaturanga or Ashtanga Namaskar, 8 points. Inhale, chest up. or up dog. Exhale. Come into sitting. Prepare for Dandasana. So you notice I kind of move my butt out of the way. So you can start by pressing the fists into the mat beside the hips. You want to visualize making your arms as long as possible. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, drop the shoulders away from the ears. We're just trying to find as much extension through every single part of the body, through the legs, through the spine, through the arms. Okay? So with Paschimottanasana, the first point of contact should always be the belly button towards the thighs. If there's a lot of curvature in the spine, I recommend that you modify by bending the knees up, even here in this sitting position. Start with the belly button on the thighs and keep the line of the spine straight. Shoulders away from the ears. This is a really long posture. Okay, Utthita Dandasana. Press the floor away. Inhale, try to drag the hips away from the front of the mat. Okay. Sit up for round 2. Inhale. I'm trying to find as much extension through my spine as possible. Palms over top of the toes, soles of the feet. 4, 3, 2, one more breath. So the closer you can get your hands to your knees, the tendency will be to kind of scoot them back towards the hips, but you really want to hinge the chest forward to get the hips back. Again, long arms push the floor away. Suck the ribs up. Round 3. Inhale. Extend the sternum up towards the ceiling. Exhale, belly button towards the thighs. So here I'm going for that Panagusthasana hook, the first 2 fingers on the big toe. Again, belly button towards the thighs. 5 breaths. Press the floor away. Inhale, ribs inside the body, hips backwards. Release. 1 more. Again, you can take whatever hand posture. Here I'm taking my left hand around my right wrist. My right hand is in Chin Mudra. My thumb and index finger are touching. As always, lots of space around the ears. Okay. Optional here, vinyasa or not. So we were just in a pretty deep flex position with the spine. It's really hard for me to change from extension to flexion, so I just take a few breaths here. I shake out the hips. Give it a little bit of a passive back bend to help start changing the shape. Nothing too dramatic. And then I make my way back into sitting. Coming into Purvottanasana. So take the fingers to face your hips. I'm going to start by rolling my shoulders around. Inhale, lift the chest. From here, I come into half of the posture, lifting the hips. And then from here, I'm going to walk my legs out and roll my thighs in so that my big toes touch. Every inhale, lift the sternum closer to the ceiling, lift the hips. Exhale, press down to the hands and the feet. 3, 2, exhale, take it down. Vinyasa or not. If you are taking the vinyasa, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. We meet in sitting. Okay, so we're going to go through 5 rounds of Navasana here. Even Navasana, think neutral pelvis. So we want to avoid that really deep curve to the low back. Inhale, keep lifting the sternum. Okay, trying to lift the hips. One little pop, back in. Every inhale, sternum goes closer to the ceiling. Every exhale, out through the hands and the feet. 3, 2, cross the legs. Inhale, lift the hips. Back up. Feel free to bend the knees, hold the thighs, but you want to keep that straight line with the spine. Inhale. Exhale, back out. Notice I'm starting to get really curvy through that low back, so I'm trying to stretch it out, make it longer. Try pushing out through your heels and magnetizing your inner thighs together. I think this is the 5th round, hopefully. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope, we got one more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Make your way back. Vinyasa or not, again, these are all optional. Typically when I practice, I don't do a lot of vinyasas in between the postures, but for demonstration purposes, I'm showing a lot more. Okay. Similar to the other video, I do a lot of back bending to help with low back pain. So I'm going to come into full wheel for Vidyanarasana. Start on the head, elbows face forward, extend to the hands, lift the hips. Okay. You don't have to come all the way into this full extension. You can keep the shoulders down and just focus on lifting the hips. You want to make sure that the sides of the feet are parallel, that you're not going super wide with the toes. This protects the low back. Okay, round 2. So with all of these wheel variations, you have the option to walk the hands in closer, keep them where they are. And you notice I'm rocking my chest towards that back wall. Another option. You want to make sure that you're primarily focused on the extension of the arms, make sure that they're straight, and then making more modifications from there, more variations from there. One more round. Top of the head. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, push. Push the hip bones towards the ceiling. Push the hands and feet into the floor. 3, 2, exhale, release. Okay, I'm going to take you through a deeper twist. So I start by taking the 2 knees together and I drop them to the left. So with this twist, I want you to work with both shoulders on the mat. If you notice that the right shoulder wants to start peeling off, then don't go any further with the twist. Let the shoulders be settled and then build from there. So I've come into my first variation. I've taken that bottom knee out from under the top knee. Okay, third variation. I'm going to hook onto that bottom foot, hook onto either the calf or the top foot, and I'm going to extend. Active feet on both sides. Five breaths here. So you want to think about your hip moving away from your ribs, or think about making your waist as long as possible. Okay, slowly release. Take both knees together, drop them to the opposite side. So I'm working to ground that left shoulder. I'm turning my face to look at the left hand to take the cervical spine into the twist as well. Okay, so again, I've pulled that bottom knee away, but I've maintained the same position with my shoulders. 5 breaths here. So I'm going to scoop up that ankle, and then the top hand, depending on your flexibility, you can go to the thigh, the calf, or the foot. I'm trying to spread those two pieces apart. Legs are active, shoulders are on the mat. You can find the length in the waist. Your exhale, release. Okay. Coming into passive flexion here. I'm going to hug my knees in towards the chest. So I'm not so concerned about curling up into a super tight ball, just finding somewhat of a neutral position here. Full body tension. Low back is flush against the floor. Walk your fingers down towards the knees, get longer. Look at the belly button. 3, 2, release. Back up. Inhale, full body tension. Arms are longer, 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 longer. 3, 2, release. One more. Inhale, full body tension. 5, 4, 3, 2, release. Okay. If there's anything else that you need right now, this is the time for that. Otherwise, we'll take a few moments for Shavasana. Make a point to tuck the shoulders under your back so that your collarbone can be wide, your chest can expand fully. Let the feet roll open passively, allowing your body to be passive to gravity. No special breathing instructions, but working towards being passively conscious. So not totally checking out, but being in a space where we're not trying to control everything that's happening. When you're ready, inhale, stretch the arms up overhead, full body stretch. Exhale, left hand to the belly. Inhale, lift the left knee. Exhale, roll to your right side. Few breaths here in the fetal position. Exhale, roll to seated. Great work, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful week, and see you soon.